All right, I'm going to go ahead and kick things off. Welcome, everybody. My name is Stan Odenthal. I am the Director of Business Relations with Heartland Workforce Solutions. And so welcome to our Better Business Workshop series. Today, we're going to have a great conversation. We've got SourceLink Nebraska talking about connections to Nebraska resources for businesses. And so it should be a fantastic conversation. We've had SourceLink come and talk to us a little bit before their launch last year. And now that they're fully in gear, it's going to be fun to get some updates and find out about some of the great resources that they have available to businesses. And so we've got Scott Asmus and Brandy O'Malley here. And before we get started with that, I just want to walk through a few different slides here with talking about Heartland Workforce Solutions and what we do and some of the events that are coming up here as well that you as a business can participate in some of these events. And so Heartland Workforce Solutions, we are the local workforce development area that serves Douglas, Sarpy, and Washington counties. That's our 3-county area. We receive federal funding to connect job seekers with those right skills, to help reemploy individuals that may be unemployed, and to work with businesses to find and tap into that talent pool. And so we've got a number of great programs and resources available here. Federally funded for the most part. We also receive a little bit of funding from the city of Omaha for some of our training programs as well. And so lots of great stuff going on here. Check out our website at hws-ne.org to find out more. A lot of great employer resources are there as well. As I mentioned, our primary partners are going to be, we work, and customers are going to be businesses as well as job seekers. We also have a host of on-site and off-site community partners that we work with. I think on-site here at 57th and Ames, we have about 15 different workforce development partners. All of those have similar programs that work with job seekers as well as businesses. So a lot of great connecting tools there. Some events that are coming up that you may want to consider participating in. We've got our biggest job fair of the year here on June 11th. We call it Jobapalooza. Last year, we had well over 100 job seekers. We had food trucks. This year, we're trying to go even bigger and better. We're going to have a location at HWS on 57th and Ames in Omaha, as well as one location in South Omaha as well. And so it'll be 2 locations on that day, include food trucks again. We're hoping to have in the neighborhood of 20 to 25 employers at each location. And then also some music and some games and some fun. We're going to be also having some career exploration events that day. So such things as we've got some of our trucking partner companies bringing trucks for individuals to check out what that might look like, what that career pathway might look like. Others of our partners bringing similar type equipment as well to check out some of those career opportunities that job seekers might be interested in exploring. Another upcoming job fair. This one is focused on government and nonprofit positions. And so if you fall into that category and would like to participate in this job fair, we're hosting it on May 12th from 4 to 6 p.m. And so an easy way to register for either of those job fairs, if you go to the hws-ne.org, our website, click on the employers tab at the top of the page are 2 buttons that basically you can click and register to sign up for either of those 2 job fairs. This is a picture of our fun and fancy location here on 57th and Ames. We also offer rooms available for employers to interview, to conduct meetings and things like that. So we always want to make sure that you're aware of those services as well. Other upcoming workshops that we've got on our schedule. Next month, we're going to be hosting one focused on tools, resources, and programs, a menu of services for businesses at the American Job Center. June, we're still working on finalizing that one, but that'll be announced pretty soon. July, we've got a great topic related to reentry to opportunities of hiring justice-involved individuals. And so we've got a few different groups working on that one, and we'll be presenting for that topic. In August, this one could be a fun one. It's how do your wages and benefits compare? And so resources to find Omaha area salary and benefits information. There's been quite a few labor availability studies as well as benefit studies, And we're going to be bringing in some of those experts that have been a part of those studies and talking about what things are looking like. And I'm sure that with inflation, wages have gone up, and so it'll be fun to see how much they've gone up and how businesses are competing through increased benefits and things like that. And so that's what that conversation is going to look like in August. And then September is going to be focused on federal contracts and how to get your business ready to take on a federal contract, compliance with federal contracts, things like that, because we know that there's a lot of businesses out there that have federal contracts, but then there's also a lot of businesses that want federal contracts. And so how do you get into that game? We're going to bring that topic in September. So with that, I'll stop sharing my screen and hand it over to Scott and Brandy. But before I do, I just want to launch one polling question here, actually 2 polling questions. First off, is this your first time attending a business workshop with us? Please answer yes or no, just so we can get a sense of who all is here. And so it looks like most of everybody has attended one previously. And then SourceLink Nebraska, on a scale of 1 through 5, how familiar are you with SourceLink Nebraska? So 1 would be the lowest, 5 would be the highest. Okay. And so we've got, we've got a mix of people. A few people that are one person that is quite familiar with SourceLink, but most people are pretty new to understanding what SourceLink Nebraska is. And so excited to have Scott and Brandy present and talk a little bit more about what they're doing at SourceLink Nebraska. So I'll hand it over to them.
Thank you, Stan. Good afternoon, everybody. We're excited to have the opportunity to talk about SourceLink Nebraska. We launched in November of 2021, so we are one of the Nebraska Business Development Center's newest programs, and we've made quite a bit of progress over the past few months since launch. And today, Brandy, she will be giving you a tour of our program by utilizing our website and showing how entrepreneurs and business owners can connect with resources that can help them start or grow your business here in Nebraska. We spent roughly a year and a half mapping the resources across the state of Nebraska that does this, and we've identified around 500 different organizations and 1,000 different resources that support entrepreneurship and business development in Nebraska. Prior to our November launch, Nebraska did not have the infrastructure in place to help connect resources to our entrepreneurs and business owners. As you know, much like job seeking, it's who you know. And even in the entrepreneurial and business development world, it can be who you know. We're hoping to break down some of those barriers by having a one-stop shop of information. And it's a no-cost program. We're accessible at sourcelinknebraska.com 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And we do provide one-on-one assistance as well. And Brandy will talk about that with our personal action plans. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over the reins to Brandy, and she's going to give you a tour of the website. And once we have the tour of the website, we'll answer questions that you have about our program and how we can assist you at starting or growing your business.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen, so please let me know that you can see it.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, great. So this is sourcelinknebraska.com. This is our main page, our home page. As we start going through some of the screens in the website, you'll see that there's multiple ways to access different parts of the website, but we're going to use this top navigation bar to get started. However, I do want to just slightly scroll down the home page just so you can see that we do have a lot of really great information on the home page. So you can access a lot of our services from this main page. This is the personal action plan, and I'll go over that here in a minute after I talk about the resource navigator. Again, you can connect with the business resources on this homepage. Then we have our guides for business located on the homepage as well. And our resource mapping buttons, these are really neat, and I'll show you guys these as well. So I don't like to just skip over the homepage because it has some really great stuff. So we'll come back to this, but I just wanted to make sure that you knew that it wasn't just the navigation. So let's go ahead and start with the resource navigator. Okay, I'm a little delayed on my end, so please let me know if you guys can't see something. Okay, so this is our resource navigator. This is where entrepreneur business owners can go, as well as those of you who may be working with entrepreneurs and business owners. You can definitely utilize this tool as well as you're working with them if you need to. But this will bring up all of the resources that we've mapped across Nebraska. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to filter your search, and anybody can do this. And so you can narrow your search by zip code if you want. The thing with the zip code is a lot of our resource partners will service all of Nebraska. So you don't always want to narrow your search if you don't have to. It's different if you're looking for something specific like maker spaces or co-working space or something like that. So you can do that. This is really important, this area of assistance. So this is where you're going to select what you're looking for. We get a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners even. You'd be surprised on how many business owners don't have a business plan. So that's usually the number one thing that people are initially coming onto the site to look for is business planning. So you can select your area of assistance here. And then you can narrow it down even further to select a specific need. So if you know that you specifically need help with a business plan, you can select that. Sometimes people are looking for market research assistance, but I'll just select business planning just so I can show you guys what the results look like. There's also an option to select for underserved communities. So this is going to be things like Latino or Spanish speaking, veterans, youth, programs that specialize in working with those types of entrepreneurs and businesses will be on here as well. But I'm just going to leave it pretty basic for now so I can show you guys what the results look like. So you just go ahead and select that filter resources button. And then it will give you a list of our resource partners that both provide this service and specialize in the service. So we do have some partners that specialize in a specific topic. And if that's the case, they'll be pulled to the top of the list first. And then the rest of them will be under them, but it will all be in alphabetical order. So it's, if you know what you're looking for, it'd be easy to find. Otherwise, you can just kind of go through the list and click and look at all the resource partners that provide that service.
And I do want to reiterate the profiles, the resources that we have available on our platform are primarily nonprofit, government, and education resource partners. However, we do have some for-profit entities that are included, such as equity providers, co-working spaces, and so forth. You will not find bankers on here, for example, because we want to make sure that this SourceLink Nebraska is not intended to be a marketing platform, but is to connect with resources to build your business. So being able to connect to, even though bankers are incredibly important to the ecosystem, we have to make sure that they're connected through our resource partners and learning about the system as they build to that point.
Yes. So I'm just going to click into the Nebraska Business Development Center, the Kearney Center, and show you what a profile looks like. So this is what everyone's profile is going to look like. It's going to have a short description of what that program does here at the top underneath their name. And then it's going to go into some specifics about what they do, the nitty gritty of their services. A lot of times they'll have a menu of services listed here. This one's pretty long. Some of them are longer than others. On the right side of the page, this is where you're going to find all that specific contact information. So the majority of our profiles will include a specific contact person, which is really great. So there are a few cases where there's going to be, you know, a general inbox set up, which, you know, is great too, because these are resource partners. They are aware that they're on here, that they're expecting people to connect with them this way. But it's also nice and comforting sometimes when you have a name. So we try to make sure we list that primary contact, where they're located, their phone number. There's going to be a link to their website, as well as a map. And then their social media handles will be listed down here as well. So you can just click in and view their social media from this page. Up at the top here, this connect me with this organization button. This is where an entrepreneur business owner can connect directly with this resource from this page. So they don't need to call them if they don't want to. They don't need to go out of this website into another website to find the program they're looking for. They can literally just fill out their name and contact information, and it will be sent directly to this resource partner, and they can connect that way, which is really awesome, because this is all about transparency and accessibility, and what easier way to get connected than to go right to the source. So that's really great. Scott, anything you want to add on about the profile page, or does anybody have any questions so far? I can't really see the chat, so.
And you know, with these profile pages, it goes back to our theme. It's about connecting. Brandy and I, the role we play is connecting. It's not to replace the expertise of our resource partners. So we're always thinking of, we know where to connect. We're experts at connecting, but we'll always get you to the right information and the right people.
Yes. So that's the resource navigator. That's really the database of those resources we map, but there's so many other things that they can connect with through this page. I'm going to go ahead and go into our events calendar. All right. So our events calendar, we work really hard at keeping this up to date and making sure that all of the events that are focused around entrepreneurship and business and networking are all listed in one place and accessible, so that individuals know how they can get connected. And what's really great is a lot of the stuff is virtual still, so people can attend. You know, if they're in Grand Island, they can attend an event that's in Omaha. And then for those that aren't virtual, there's still a lot of hybrid events, and then nice to see some in-person events coming back too. But this is a really great option if someone's looking for a specific event. So up here, they can just search for an event title if they know what they're looking for. But sometimes they don't. They just know maybe they want to attend a networking event, but they don't know who's hosting one. So if that's the case, they can come over here and filter the results over here by category. They can also search by venue or organizer, or if they know they're free on a certain day and they might want to fill their calendar with an event, they can definitely search by date as well. So I'm going to click into one of these. And if you're a resource partner, and you or even if you're not, please consider being one. But you can definitely submit your own events by coming to the event calendar as well. It will come to our SourceLink team, and Scott and I will look over it and make sure, you know, it fits in, and we'll publish it to the calendar. So definitely let us know if you're having any events that you want listed here. So yeah, it just,
these events would be specific to topics that involve entrepreneurship or building a business.
Yep. Okay, I'm going to go back to the main page here. And I'm going to scroll down a bit. And I do want to touch on this personal action plan, just because we just talked about those resource partners. So the personal action plan is a customized strategy for an entrepreneur or business owner. A lot of times, maybe they're not sure what they need, or they're not sure where to start. This is a really great way to connect with us here at SourceLink, and then we can develop a customized strategy for them. It comes straight to our team, and we look at it, and we look at every single one, and we spend time on developing a good strategy that will have all the programs and the contact names, and we email it back to them the same day, and we follow up with a phone call to make sure they understand it and that they received it. So this is a really great tool, again, for both entrepreneurs, business owners, or resource partners that are working with entrepreneurs that maybe they can't provide all the services they're seeking. So this is the form. It does ask for a little bit of information, but the more information they can provide, the more detailed I can be in my response as far as what type of resources they need to connect with. So yep, it's not too bad. It's 18 questions, and then just click submit, and it comes straight to us.
And this personal action plan, if you are looking to connect with resources and assistance for starting or growing a business, this should be your first stop. And the reason I say that is we do have a lot of resources on the platform. We have a lot. They're great, but it still never answers the question of where you should start first. So we can evaluate your individual situations, and we can look at it and get you to the right resource at the right time. Oftentimes, particular entrepreneurs, people that are starting their business, they're asking for financing. But if you notice that question 17 down there asks, do you have a business plan? A lot of times it's no. And you can't really go after bank loans and whatnot without a business plan. So we evaluate the situation. We connect you with the experts to make sure we set you up for success. We want to create a system of wraparound services for entrepreneurs and business owners. So if you are an entrepreneur or business owner and you need help, go to this personal action plan page. If you're working with somebody that wants to start a business, grow a business, send them here and we can help them. Brandy does a great job of building these plans. They're sent to the entrepreneur, and then all our resource partners that will be getting this person as a referral will receive a copy of that action plan as well. So all the resource partners can see who's helping.
Yeah.
Just a couple follow-ups on this then. So first off, there's no cost associated with doing this, is there?
No, it's no cost.
Okay.
Everything we do is at no cost.
Okay. And then what does the timeline look like? So when somebody goes in and fills this out, like what can they expect the next couple of steps to look like?
Yeah, so they'll fill this out and it comes directly into our info at SourceLink inbox, and I have it up and I monitor it all day, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. We're not here on the weekends, so if they submit it on the weekends, I probably won't see it till Monday, but it's my top priority. So it doesn't matter like what else is on my calendar for the day. I'm constantly checking this and I'm making sure that I work on this, and this is kind of my number one priority with the program. So that is all I focus on.
And
so
we put a lot of time and effort into these action plans. Generally, when one comes in, Brandy and I are consulting with one another and bouncing ideas off one another to make sure we are getting this entrepreneur business owner to the right resources first. Mm-hmm. So, it does take a little time to put one together, but you won't be waiting a week for one. It may be 24 hours, maybe a couple days at the most, before you'll get that action plan sent to your email box. Brandy follows up with a phone call immediately too, after she sends it, to make sure that the entrepreneur business owner knows that action plan is there. She can talk to them, give them some rationales to why we selected certain referrals. But also a lot of times, if you send something out, there's the potential for it always to run into somebody's junk mail. So we just want to make sure that we're there to support as much as we can and get through that process.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds fantastic. And so obviously it sounds like, that conversation with the business owner, with the entrepreneur, it's going to be dependent a little bit on their own involvement as well, and how much they want to continue to look at other resources and work with you. There was a good question in the chat from Alejandra here. In regards to finance, we have had individuals ask for assistance when they have less than perfect credit. Are there resources to connect them to that will help them with financing their business?
Yes, there are resources out there. Specifically to this doesn't necessarily directly relate, but there is, I know the Women's Business Center has credit building programs. So if somebody needs to establish credit and build their credit. But I would tell you, in those situations where somebody has less than perfect credit, we would probably connect them with one of our SBDC consultants, because yeah, they may be asking about that and the financing, but there's other things that need to be talked about as well. But there are organizations such as Nebraska Enterprise Fund, Catholic Charities that could potentially help out. But once again, each situation is completely different. So we do evaluate what they do ask for, but we do look at the whole picture, and we will connect them with the correct professionals to have those conversations.
Keep those questions coming in the chat too. We'll make sure we hit all of those. The other thing I was going to ask you about, I think you had mentioned before, you do have some capacity with individuals that may speak Spanish and helping them along with this process, right?
Yeah, we have, particularly with our action plan, we do have that translated into Spanish. Alan Martinez, he's part of our team here. He speaks Spanish. Matter of fact, he speaks 3 languages, but one of the languages he speaks is Spanish. So he can assist Spanish-speaking business owners. If we do have a situation in which we have a business owner that speaks Spanish, they can receive the action plan in Spanish, but also the English version as well. And those will both be sent to each resource partner that's receiving the referral.
Yes. Great question. And along the same lines is that the website can translate into different languages. Up here on the right, I don't click into them because I can never get out. I've made that mistake before, but if that's a need, that's there. So just up in the right corner there, and select the language that you're looking for, and it will translate the website. The good point Scott made about the action plans being sent to the referral source. So when we refer someone via an action plan, we also alert the resource provider that the referral has been sent, and then we attach the action plan. That way they can see that there's other resource partners that they're working with, which is really important for those wraparound services Scott was touched on earlier. And I think it's made a big difference. And Stan, back to your question about how long it takes, it's funny because sometimes the resource providers will reach out to the client before they even see the action plan, which is why I try to hurry up and follow up with the phone call, so they're not like, okay, why is SBDC calling me, or Nebraska Enterprise Fund. So our referral go pretty quick, and they're on top of it most of the time. So we like to let the entrepreneur know that that's been sent, and to watch out, because they'll probably be contacting them pretty quick.
And ultimately, the responsibility of connecting with the resource partners is in the entrepreneur business owner's hands. We want to make sure that they have the information, and our resource partners may take the initiative and reach out, but ultimately it would be the expectation of the entrepreneur business owner to reach out and follow through with that.
Yeah.
Well, and one question I had just looking at your website, which is really well done, and seeing all of those links up there at the top to your social media accounts, and knowing that you guys are pushing out a lot of information out there. Just kind of wondering what's been successful for you so far, and how entrepreneurs are finding you. Have you found that like one method is working more than others? Are people finding the website, or are you getting more connected more on social media with folks?
Yeah, according to Google Analytics, it's direct connection. So they are hearing about SourceLinkNebraska.com and connecting that way. But also a lot of it is that word of mouth through our resource partners. This will be an ongoing process because there isn't one place you can go to find entrepreneurs. Everybody could potentially be an entrepreneur. So, we work with libraries, we work with, our resource partners, co-working spaces, everybody, to make sure that everybody understands that there is a tool out there. And we've been telling our resource partners, we work for you. We want to make sure that we can help make those connections for you, so you can do what you're best at, and that's helping those entrepreneurs and business owners with what they need. We can help you make those connections.
Yeah, absolutely. Funny story, Stan, is I was adding events last week, and a link that I was trying to use didn't work, so I just Googled it, and the company, and the first thing that came up on the Google search was our SourceLink Nebraska page. They had a previous event on there. So the entrepreneurs that I've assisted so far, a lot of them are just Googling, like Scott said, starting a business in Nebraska. So we also talk to our resource partners about sharing SourceLink Nebraska's information on newsletters that they're putting out, so that they can spread the word that way. But yeah, Scott's right, a lot of word of mouth, and we really are trying to get that across to our resource partners that we're here to help you. We can take some of that load off of you and do the referring, so you don't have to figure out and hunt on where to send them. Please let us do that.
And it's interesting as far as finding our resources. A lot of our resource partners with their profiles on here, when somebody does a Google search, their SourceLink Nebraska profile will show up before their website. We're seeing that a lot more times than not. So, which is a great thing, because that way there are multiple ways for people to access the help that they need. Apparently our SEO score is really, really good. So, and
Yeah,
I think we've made some connections that way.
Yeah, sounds like whatever you're doing with SEO is definitely working. It's hard to even remember what life was like before Google, right? Like, I mean, how did we get along? How did we not just constantly stumble? And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we had to talk to each other a lot more, I think that. So yeah, that's a little bit about our resource partners and how to find resources. We also have a educational and informational aspect to our program, because we do want to share information with our entrepreneurs as well. We want them to understand what they're getting into, and have a little bit of knowledge before they connect with our resource partners, so they know the questions to ask, and if it's even something they want to do. So a lot of times they're not aware till they get in here.
If we can emphasize something today, Enlighten. It is, and Brandy's going to cover this here in a second, but this Enlighten learning platform so much enhances the experience for entrepreneurs and business owners. It shouldn't be the first time they hear something when they go to talk to an expert. So our virtual library of training videos, which are at no cost to entrepreneurs and business owners, when they enroll here, they'll end up having access to the university's Canvas platform. So any of the courses that they enroll in, no cost, they can get in there and learn, for example, A to Z of starting a business.
Yes, and we have that in Spanish as well. So they can access that right from the SourceLink Nebraska main page. It's the first thing that pops up underneath our guides for business. They just click right into it. Says a little bit about, it's accessible 24 hours a day. So a lot of times our entrepreneurs and business owners are working a lot of crazy hours, or they have a job and they're running a business. So being able to access this at any time is really wonderful, and it's at no cost. So they just simply click in here. It tells them about a little bit about each module. They select the module that they want to take, and then they select enroll. That will take them into the Canvas portal, and they do have to sign up, but it's at no cost. And then once they've enrolled one time, they can keep adding more modules. They don't have to sign up in Canvas each time. They just add the modules. And we are working on adding content. This is going to be something that we keep building on as we come across those topics that are important to entrepreneurs and business owners.
And once somebody signs up to this, they'll receive a link to their Canvas account. So they'll have to access that learning platform from that link that they're sent through their email when they sign up. It's sometimes an area of confusion, but those videos are great. Our partners made them. It wasn't strictly a Nebraska Business Development Center thing. It was with partners and their expertise. So please check those videos out. They are at no cost. They are very helpful. And it's one more tool that you can give the people that you assist and work with.
Absolutely.
So, we've talked a lot about, small businesses and entrepreneurs. Are there resources that are available, let's say, for someone that's working for maybe kind of a smallish business, a medium-sized business that may be running HR or something of that nature, but still kind of, handling a lot of different things with that business? Would there be some resources for that type of person?
That's a great question. We're actually working with a partner right now to create some of those types of resources as far as the HR function. Right now, we're trying to focus kind of on that surface level information of, starting a business, but we are looking into other topics, particular HR topics, because Stan, what you just said is something that those small business owners that have a couple employees, it's information that they need as well. So we are continuing to develop this platform.
Yeah, that's probably one of the greatest things about this program is it enables us to be able to identify gaps and where information is needed and tackle it. So we depend on our resource partners as well to let us know what they're seeing and what they're hearing so that we can make sure that we focus on that as well. Good questions. Okay, any more questions in the chat?
Not yet.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll get some soon. Yeah.
Yes. So Scott touched on Enlighten, and we also have our startup growth and capital guides for business. Again, this walks entrepreneurs and business owners through those basic steps. And the idea behind the guides is really to enhance the learning experience so that they have a basic idea of the process of starting, growing, or looking for capital stages in business. So these are really great. Scott's working on a new one. I'm excited to see it. It's going to have a lot more information. So, but this one's still great, but his new one's going to be awesome.
It's going to have the tools to access. A lot of our partners have tools, whether it be the maybe the state of Nebraska portal, the licensing portal. There will be a link to that so somebody can look up what type of information they need to set up their business and so forth. So we've identified quite a few resource partners that have those tools, and we want to make sure that there's easy links to that.
Yeah, absolutely. So in these guides for business, this will take them into other pages within our website, or maybe directly to that source like Scott was talking about. It may be into the Secretary of State website. It may be linked to articles. It just depends on what they click in. So this is really great if you're interested, or if you're working with entrepreneurs and business owners, definitely direct them here. There's a lot of great information.
And these guides are to learn. They're not
Yes.
comprehensive in the sense of you read one, you know how to start a business. This part of this platform is to help with the education process of entrepreneurship and building a business. So we want to make sure that that information is there, available. But ultimately, our goal is to connect them with our resource partners, the experts in Nebraska that can help them through this process.
Yeah. Any questions on that?
Nothing so far. Are there any
Okay.
topics associated with just kind of, it seems like more and more people are turning hobbies into businesses. Are you guys focusing in on that at all anywhere?
Yeah, that's kind of what Scott is developing right now. As far, well, I don't want to say that we're just waiting on Scott's tool, because a lot of our resource providers they'll help anybody, whether you're turning your side. But I just had a business last week, I think it was. She's been just kind of fitness training on the side, and she is ready to take the next step and is doing it full time. And so, it was a side gig for a while, all through the pandemic, and she picked up some momentum and some popularity. And she's ready to dive in. And so our resource partners will assist anybody who's willing. A lot about entrepreneurship and business, being a business owner, is having that drive. Those founders need to have the drive. So side gig or full-blown business, they'll help them all. So anything to add on that, Scott?
Nope, that's good.
Okay. We also have this resource mapping section, which is also really popular. A lot of our affiliates that use SourceLink in other states really like our little buttons here. So our resource mapping section focuses in on right now 8 areas, and like childcare, for instance. I'm just going to click in here. This has kind of been a hot topic lately because we're in a huge deficit of childcare providers in the state of Nebraska. And so in order to help the workforce, we need to make sure that we're getting people to want to start childcare businesses. And so this has been a hot topic at pretty much every conference I've attended since I've been here. So this will have some resources for childcare businesses here up at the top. Again, these could link into articles, they could link into handbooks, and we're always updating this and make sure we have the most up-to-date information in here. And then it will connect them with resources that help childcare providers or related to the childcare industry. So that way they don't have to search, it's just all right here for them. They just click into that childcare button and here they have it. And then at the bottom, it will link to all the events that we have on the events calendar that has to do with childcare or early childhood education. And so, like I said, we have those for some other areas as well. Spanish speaking resources, agriculture, these maker spaces, that's pretty popular. We just kind of visited a maker space, and there's some popping up all over Nebraska. And in this view, we have a map view. So if somebody's searching for maker spaces, they can see right away if there's one in that area, and then they can just click right on the icon and it will tell them where it's located. And then again, link them back to the resource provider page.
And we are looking at creating another section. We're currently kind of building that out, but that'll include co-working, incubators, accelerators, those types of resource partners as well. So we're currently working on that to enhance the experience of connecting to resource partners.
Yes. And then we also have, we feel strongly that it's really important to tell people's story. We talk a lot about it's not what you know, but who you know in Nebraska. And sometimes if you feel like you're not quite connected, it's hard to know if anybody is being successful because you feel so distant from it. So we feel like it's really important to tell stories, both from the entrepreneur or business owner side and from our resource partners who are actually out there doing the work and helping people. So currently on here, we have Andrew Prestay with Event Vista. He's been really great. He's been nothing but wonderful to work with. We went out and did an interview with him, wrote a story, and have a video that's coming soon that we're going to post on here. But so we try to make sure that entrepreneurs know that there's other entrepreneurs and business owners that are being successful in Nebraska. And hopefully that will inspire them. And one thing that I've heard consistently, no matter what event or networking event I'm going to, entrepreneurs say they want to hear from other entrepreneurs. It's great to listen to resource partners. They really want to know, what did you do to become successful? What challenges did you face? How did you overcome that? And so we want to make sure that we're sharing those stories on our platform as well.
And we will be sharing a story here probably within the next couple of days of a resource partner, BSO Studio. It's a startup studio, which is a very unique resource. John Bunting, he heads that up. So keep looking at our website. I'll be posting that soon. It's another great resource that helps startups in Nebraska.
Sounds like there's a lot of coming attractions to your website here soon. So yeah, thanks for the sneak peek. One of the things
we're always innovating.
As Brandy was talking about, entrepreneurs learning from other entrepreneurs, kind of just made the question in my mind go, like, are there conferences right now that are focused on that for Nebraska, or that entrepreneurs can go to and learn from other entrepreneurs? Is that happening in any way?
There's one next week in Columbus. There's an entrepreneurship conference that's happening there. But yeah, there are places. There was just one Brandy and Alan attended.
The Midwest Entrepreneurship
Summit.
Yeah.
So there are opportunities out there, and I would keep an eye on our events calendar, because we do post those when we find out about it, or our resource partners post them. But it's also a place where you're going to find other events. Like, I know there's organizations that provide training in QuickBooks, for example, those types of events as well. So I would check out our events calendar for conferences and other learning opportunities, networking opportunities.
Yeah, there are some. I mean, I know conferences are kind of few and far between, but those networking events are also really, like the 1 Million Cups Omaha or Lincoln. There's a lot of organizations in Greater Nebraska that do a version of that. So I really encourage entrepreneurs and small business owners to go and maybe visit their local 1 Million Cups chapter event. It's a really great way to network with other entrepreneurs and start a relationship that way. Or it could be your next big idea, Stan. Anything else you want to add, Scott? Do you want to touch on anything else?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I think we'd open it up for questions. You may want to go.
Can I go to the tool?
Yeah, so our resource partner toolkit. So those of you that are a partner that does assist entrepreneurs and business owners in some way, shape, or form, we wanted to make sure you had access to information about SourceLink Nebraska. So we created a resource partner toolbox. We have a program description on there. So if you wanted to put something in a newsletter or a social media post, it'll help you with some of that programmatic language of SourceLink Nebraska. But also we do have downloadable handouts that are in English and Spanish versions. We have a general one that talks about SourceLink Nebraska. That one's in English and Spanish, but we also have a specific one to the personal action plan. Nice QR code on it, so if somebody clicks it with their phone, they could actually fill out a personal action plan from their phone. We are working on our website of creating that form in Spanish language as well. It's going to take some time to develop that, but that's available. We do have our brochure that was developed here at NBDC, electronic version of it, so that can actually be shared electronically. We have our social media handles here. So other tools that we come up with over time, we may even put a PowerPoint on here for some of our resource partners if they want to include that. We also do have our logos available that says official resource partner. that can be used, put on your website. Omaha Public Power District, if you go to their economic development page, they put that on there to link back to us. So, you know, we do encourage our resource partners to include that as well. If you are a resource partner, feel free to use our imagery, because that's what we want to do, is we want to connect people with information. So please check that out as well. We do have a place for podcasts and webinars. So a lot of nice podcasts and webinars that occur, whether it be monthly or weekly. The Entrepreneur Education Collaborative group that I'm part of, once a month, we host a webinar. Yesterday was Ernie Gross. He was talking about, you know, supply chain issues, the economic environment. But once a month, we have somebody come in and speak on topics that are relevant to entrepreneurs and business owners in Nebraska. But as you can see, there's podcasts, links to podcasts as well. Don Mackey, if you've never listened to Don Mackey speak, he's wonderful. He was one of them that was integral at bringing the SourceLink platform to Nebraska. Great guy, very knowledgeable on entrepreneurship. So he does a regular podcast as well. We also do have a section on here for Nebraska business and entrepreneurship reports. Once again, this is a place to learn. I just recently posted our NBDC 2021 annual report, but one other one that I do want to point out is the 2021 Entrepreneurship in Nebraska report. So that was done here at UNO with Josie Schaefer and NBDC. It's a great read. If you're interested in entrepreneurship and business growth in Nebraska, please check this out. It is wonderful. Lots of nice statistics. I think it gives a really good picture of what's happening in Nebraska, but also I think it gives a picture of where we can go.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Any questions on the website before I stop sharing my screen?
There's nothing new in the chat, but we'll give everybody another minute or so, another 30 seconds to plug any last questions that they might have into the chat.
Okay.
I do apologize for all of the construction going on behind me. They've been doing construction in our hallways here, adding in key fobs to all of the doors. And I've noticed all morning long they've been working their way towards my door. And I'm like, as soon as this meeting starts, they're going to be working on my door. And of course, as soon as this meeting starts, they're right out here. So, yep. All right. I don't think we have any additional questions. So with that, I mean, thank you so much for the presentation. I think we've all learned a lot. And even just, you know, having this update from what you guys talked about last year. I mean, there's been a lot of progress, a lot of great new resources and tools with SourceLink Nebraska. So we definitely encourage everyone to check that out. Any final words for the group?
Yeah, thank you so much. Please visit our website, sourcelinknebraska.com. We're always innovating. We are responsive to the ecosystem. If we hear something, we're going to address it, whether it's through building a new tool through our program, or maybe connecting people more effectively, maybe some new processes. So we do listen and we do respond. So please utilize us. We love helping entrepreneurs and business owners connect with the right resource at the right time.
Yes, I would also say that if you are providing any type of services to entrepreneurs and small business owners, and you're not a resource partner, please take the time to register with us so that we can get you on there. And we're learning of new resources every day. We just added HCAN, which is a great resource for entrepreneurs or those small business owners that have, you know, they only have 1 or 2 employees. So we're always learning of new things that entrepreneurs need. And sometimes we hear it directly from our resource partners. So please register to be a resource partner so that we can help connect people to your organization as well.
And if you are wondering if you are a resource partner, you may want to talk to your organization, because we worked on an individual basis. We did make some special modifications dependent upon the organization. Some organizations have more than one profile, and we have them set up a certain way. So you'll want to find out if anybody else within your organization has submitted that. If you are interested, I would recommend reaching out to Brandy or I directly, and we can help that resource partner get your information on there. Stan, your program's on there, so you're good to go.
Well, thank you, Scott. Thank you, Brandy. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the information. Thank you for everybody that attended. We hope that we see you again next month. And with that, go Raiders, right, Scott?
No, go Chiefs.
All right. Thanks again. Bye, everybody.